Hi everyone. I just wanted to do this video really to thank you all because of how well the makeup video went down. I wasn't expecting it to go down as well as it did. It really does mean a lot. All the messages and everyone who's watched it honestly does mean the world. Like, I know it's long and I won't make this one as long, I promise. But yeah, it really does mean the world to me, so I just wanted to thank you really. But obviously I didn't really introduce myself very much because I just dived straight in there with my makeup vlog. So I just wanted to say a bit about me really. So here goes. So my name is Aisha. Most of you probably know me. If you don't know me, you'll know me through my Instagram pages. I've been in the papers a few times, things like that. I have cerebral palsy, which means I have full use. Luckily, I'm forever grateful of all of my body pretty much, apart from a bit of my right hand and both of my legs, which affect my balance and my coordination and things like that. Yeah, I mean, my cerebral palsy, it does have its days. It does have its days where it's like, can you really push me any further than you already have? Like, I've had nearly 20 years of this, and still, every day, there seems to be a new challenge with it, but you just get used to it. It's honestly, when you don't know any different, it's your life, that's all you know, and you just get on with whatever is thrown at you, and, you know, if that means you can't do certain things, then that's fine. But like I said in the last video, you can always find a way around doing other things. So, I went to mainstream school, still. I did my GCSEs. I volunteer at a safety centre teaching children. I did an apprenticeship with children at a childcare centre after school club. I have worked for a bit in a hotel. I've done all these different things, and my CP has never stopped me. I've never let it get in my way. But my mental health is obviously a bit of a different story, and that's why I decided to start my mental health page and start speaking more openly, I guess, and stopping the stigma. So, yeah, that's a bit about my CP. I will also add a bit about my mental health. So, okay, so my mental health, I started getting like symptoms of anxiety and depression and everything like that when I was year 10, 11 maybe. I went down a really slippery slope and I did some things that did change my life forever. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to trigger anyone. That's not what I'm here for. But yeah, I did some stuff that I shouldn't have done. But then I left school and my mental health all started through some things I went through in my childhood. And then I loved school. School was like my safety net. I got up in the mornings every day at school and I knew that, you know, today was going to be a good day because I'm with people I know, I'm with people that know me and know how to help me. You know, I'm with people that have known me for years and years and years, and I know that whatever happens, I can get through it. So that was fine. I then ended up dislocating my hip when I was just about to start my GCSEs. So I had to have about 6 weeks of school altogether for that, but I was in agony day in, day out throughout school because for a year and a half I wouldn't give up. I'd go into school every single day. I'd proper push myself because I didn't want my grades to fail. I didn't want to have a year and a half of going into school and leaving school because what's the point? So even though it was an agony, like the people that helped me learn how to deal with it, and it meant the world to me. And even thinking about it makes me emotional because I'm still in contact with most of the people from my school, and my school changed my life. Like, I was a completely different person before I went to school, and I can't thank them enough. They are honestly amazing. But then I left school, and so everything changed from there. Yeah, I left school, and I've got a really big thing, like I can't handle change very well at all. Like I completely freak out when it comes to change. So I didn't like leaving school. I went to Bournemouth and Paul College in the end after I didn't get the grades I wanted, so I couldn't get into sixth form at my school, which I was really, really, really upset over because it was literally, I was a few grades off being able to get in, which was so upsetting and so annoying. But things happened, and I thought, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. My mental health wasn't as bad at all then, so I thought, you know what? Let's give this a go. So I applied to do health and social care at college, and I hated it. I didn't hate the course. I loved the course, and I did pass the course. But I hated the environment. I just hated it. I hated being away from school. I hated how different things were. So I didn't really get on very well there. I left. I didn't finish the college year. I left halfway through, and I completed half of the course at college, and I completed the rest of the course at home. So when all of that, like the bad times at college, started kicking off, was when I really started to deteriorate really badly. Um, so like I said, I've never really had much self-confidence. So to go into a brand new thing and feel like almost, I haven't completed a college year. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't deal with what's been thrown at me, because obviously with my cerebral palsy I always have been able to, so I didn't understand. I just wasn't enjoying college and it wasn't good for my mental health. So I made the decision to quit, and I finished the rest of it at home, and I passed the course in the end, which was good. So I've got that qualification, and that is the positive out of it. Then went to another college the year after, and I thought I was going to do childcare, and I thought, you know what? This is childcare. I've always wanted to work with children. I've always wanted to do something along the lines of working with children and doing something mental health based. So I thought, you know what, childcare would be a really good place to start. So I applied to do childcare at college, and I thought this is going to be a really, really good year. I had to retake my maths because I was a few marks off the year before. But to do that, it meant I had to go and sit in my old college because it was taken before I'd applied. So I was just waiting for my results back to see if I was able to do the course. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the grades I needed to be able to do childcare, which then meant I had the option of travel and tourism or media, and I did media as a GCSE, and I did travel and tourism in year 9, and I enjoyed it, but it's not what I want to do. And when you have to sit in a class day in, day out, like, you want to do something you enjoy. So anyway, I did. I went through a really big breakdown, and I just lost all hope and everything. Like, I got a lot of support from different services, mental health based and physical based, and we all came up with the decision that I was going to try travel and tourism. So I went in on my first day. I sat in class, then I was in there for about an hour and a half maybe, and someone called me out, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? I was like, I'm in trouble. What have I done? And I don't deal with getting in trouble either. Like, I'm scared of people telling me off. But I think that's because of the stuff I went through, like, as a teenager, like, in my childhood and that. So, yeah. So I was like, why are they calling me out? Like, they have no reason to, but I went out anyway. And I was like, what is going on? So they called me out, and they were like, we've just been looking through your portfolio and your folder. And I was like, right. And they were like, it is all health and social and childcare based, isn't it? I was like, yeah, because that's what I want to do. I was like, I'm only doing this course to be able to get the grades to do childcare next year, because there was only a level 3 childcare and there wasn't a level 2. If there was a level 2 childcare, I would have been able to do the level 2 childcare and take maths at the same time, which is what I needed. Whereas, with level 3, you can't do that. Like, you can't retake a subject at the same time as taking level 3 because it's too much work. So anyway, I was like, yeah, no. I was like, I only took this travel and tourism course to be able to get the grades on a level 2 to be able to do childcare next year. And they went, did you do health and social care last year? And I said, yeah. I was like, I did, and I really, really enjoyed it. I was like, I was just gutted that because of circumstances and I wasn't enjoying the college environment and the way the college was run, I had to leave the college, which meant I obviously everyone wants to go for distinction, but I would have been really, really happy with a merit, but obviously I got a pass, and that is still really good. Now, anyone who has got a pass is amazing, but I always push myself for that little bit more. So I was like, do you know, I really want a merit or a distinction. So they went, okay, so how about we make a deal with you that you resit level 2 health and social care here at this new college, and you do that again, and then you can retake your maths at the same time. So it's like, yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, I'll do that. I was like, that's absolutely fine. That made me really, really happy that they'd taken that into consideration. So that's what happened, really. Weeks went on, and I started college, I started health and social care again, and then I was sat there and I was like, I really, really appreciate this offer. Like, it meant the world to me. But going over the same stuff that I had done literally not even a year before yet, like an academic year but not a proper year, I was like, I don't know if I can do this again. Do you know what I mean? Like, sit in the same year, in the same level, and do exactly the same work that I'd already done. So I then started really panicking because I didn't know what I wanted for my future, and it is really hard. It's really hard for anyone. So yeah, I started panicking, and I was like, you know, what do I do? And so I stayed there for a bit, and then my eating disorder started kicking in, and I ended up having to do a module. That's the word. Couldn't think of the word. On what was it? Diet and nutrition. See, I'm shaky because I'm even having to talk about it, let alone sit in a lesson. So obviously it was all about being underweight, being overweight, all of that stuff, and having a healthy diet and eating the right things, and it really, really triggered me to the point where I had literally started developing my eating disorder the last academic year at the other college, and I then had to go and sit and do a module and then write assignments on diet and nutrition, and it was like, I can't do this. I was like, I really, really can't do this. But I didn't want to feel like them to feel like I was being ungrateful, and I didn't want my family to feel like, oh, my Isha's dropping out of college again. Like, I didn't want to feel that, so I sat with it, and I did it, and I didn't. I pushed myself, and I admittedly made myself really, really poorly, and it didn't end very well. And it takes a lot to go back to that place in my life and be able to talk about it, but because it was World Suicide Prevention Day yesterday, I thought, you know, going through all this and speaking openly about it, it might help me and it might help others, and I will put a trigger warning on this video right at the very beginning, so if you've got this far, you've already seen it. But yeah, I tried to take my own life at college. I was sat with my friend at lunch, and she went to the toilet, and I was like, I can't do this. So yeah, I did. I'm again not going to get into details because I don't want to trigger anyone, but I did. I tried to take my own life, and everyone said back then, did you do it for that reason? And I was like, no, of course I didn't. But then I got to the moment where I realised that I did, and I did it purely for that reason. Did it because I wasn't coping, and I did it because I thought it was the only way out. But I was wrong, and I'm here now, and I'm here to tell you guys that if you are ever feeling the way I was, and sometimes I still get the thoughts, like every day I still get those thoughts to be like, what am I doing here? But I have an amazing support network around me, and doing Instagram and doing these videos for you guys, it does really help me. So that is my purpose. And like I said, if you saw yesterday's Instagram post, there is always a purpose, whether it's big or small. You know, there is always a purpose, and you will always be the one to find it. So yeah, so I did that back then at college. So anyway, that awkward, horrible to talk about bit over. We all had a meeting at college a few days after everyone realised what had happened, and I decided that the best thing for me to do would be to leave college, because at this point I had just been put under the care of the first psychiatric team I was with, and I had to go in for a day patient with them. So I was on the waiting list for that, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take time out, I'm going to get my life on track, and I'm just going to look after myself and just wait until I go into day patient, because it's my eating disorder especially. So I was like, I've got to give this a go, like, I can't turn this down, like, if I want to get better, I've got to do this sort of thing. So yeah, so that happened, and I left college, and it was sad, because the actual environment of the second college I went to was amazing, and I met some amazing friends there. Like, at least two of them are like my best friends now. So, you know, there is positives from college, and it wasn't like the first college I went to. It wasn't like I didn't enjoy it at all, because I really did, and it's just a shame that at that time, with the grades and what the course had to offer, and what I would have to go through to be able to get a qualification and a better grade from it, I just couldn't do that at the time, and I was so upset. Again, I felt like I've just left college for the second time. This time I didn't even get a qualification. I felt like, what am I doing? Like, would someone tell me what I'm doing? Like, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I left college, and I did get really upset, because I thought, you know what am I doing? I'm now going to be at home every day. And looking back, it was the right thing to do. But you know, when you're in that mindset, and at that time it didn't feel like the right thing to do, and that is a really sad thing. So yeah, I got really upset then. And I went into day patient for the first time, and I worked really hard. I got myself back on track. I was in a relationship, and you know, I thought, you know what, this is the time where I've got the right people in my life, and I'm gonna be okay. So I did that, and I was in there for about 6 weeks every Thursday, and it did really help. And because with psychiatric, it's always a really difficult line between, if you're not trying too hard, you get discharged. But if you're trying really hard, it makes it look like you're okay. Then you get discharged, because they're like, oh, you don't need to be in here anymore. And that's what happened to me, is I tried really hard because I didn't want to get discharged. I didn't want them to feel like I wasn't trying. So I tried really hard, thinking that would be the way to stay in, because they could see that it was helping me and they could see that I was trying. But I got discharged because they thought I was okay. And I wasn't. I wasn't okay. And so I ended up leaving there, not on good terms with the place at all. Just because of the way everything happened, and I didn't understand, and everything happened so quickly, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. So yeah, I ended up leaving there. And obviously, when you leave somewhere like that, you feel like, okay, so they've obviously discharged me because they feel like I'm in a good place. So I left, and I tried to be as positive as I can, and follow all the techniques, and follow all the rules, and follow all the eating plans and that. So that's what I did. So hard for weeks and weeks on end to be like, look, I've got to follow this plan. And But then my other mental health, which I've got my eating disorder. I've got these are my two ones: my eating disorder and my emotionally unstable personality disorder. I'm not going to go through all of them because it will take too long, and the video will end up being like an hour like yesterday, and you don't want just an hour of me going on. So yeah, and at the time they didn't know I had my emotionally unstable personality disorder, and not many people know about it. And I might do a video just specifically on that because it might help raise a bit more awareness and stop the stigma of that. But so yeah, I had that at the time and no one knew. I was just flying off the handle, getting angry if I dropped a pen on the floor, like different things like that. I get angry at anything, and then I'd be laughing, and then I'd be crying again, and then I wasn't in control, and I didn't understand it, and so I ended up going off the rails again. I didn't follow my meal plan. I didn't do any of it really because I thought, I don't understand what's going on in my head, so what's the point of, following everything when all I want to do is be able to understand. No one's giving me that explanation, and with me, it's all about control. If I'm not in control, then I freak out. So I felt like I wasn't in control of my emotions because I wasn't. So then my eating disorder slipped because it was the only thing I could control, which, looking back, was a pretty bad thing to do because by the time I get to the end of this video, you'll understand why. So yeah, so that, that happened, and then I ended up splitting up with the person I was with all in that time because they couldn't cope with the way my emotions were and the way I do stuff that some people can't cope with, and that's okay. Like I'm not saying that you should be able to cope with it. No one should have to. When you meet the right person, and I guess it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right person. I don't know, but yeah, I ended up splitting up with them. So I had all of that going on at once, and I really slipped back into a dark place again. So I wanted to take my life again. I wanted to do it. I tried. I tried. Again, obviously it didn't work because I'm here. So yeah, that was the second time, and I had therapy as like outside, like I had like, how do you say it? I had counselling, like just one-to-one, once a week, twice a week with different services. Like I just went there and then came home. I went there for an hour, had my therapy, came back, and that was it. So after that, I decided that I need extra counselling outside. So I went to the doctors and I was like, I need you to help me. I am on a load of different meds for my mental health as well, but that's a whole different other video. So they referred me to my counselling. I had counselling, and counselling there, I had a lovely, lovely lady who really, really helped me realise that actually, if someone is going to walk all over me and treat me like rubbish, they don't deserve to be in my life. Like, she made me realise the barriers that I should have, because with my emotional unstable personality disorder, which then at that point had just was getting diagnosed, so we realised that I had very, very thin barriers, and I worked on that, and I was getting in a really, really, really good place. So I felt happier, and even though I just split up with someone, I felt happier myself as well. So I was like, right, I was back where I could go back into an apprenticeship sort of thing. So I decided to apply for an apprenticeship, got my apprenticeship in childcare, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, like it's childcare. This is what I've wanted forever and ever. So I did that, and I was there for a few months. I loved it. I loved every single second, and if I could go back and change the way my head was treating me and do it again, then I would. But some of the staff didn't understand what was going on, and I don't blame them. But after a few months, when you have to put so much, like, I had to be at work at 8:15 in the morning. I was on split shift, so I have to get up at 6:30. I had to get up at 6:30 back then, be at work for 7:45 or whatever it was. The kids come in at 8. Then my shift there would finish at about 9:30. And then I would have the rest of the day, and I was on my own, and I was like, right, so what do I do? Like, I realised that I was again pushing myself too far, but I didn't want to leave. I wanted to keep going, so I did. I kept going, and I kept my volunteer job on the side. So then I would go back to my apprenticeship in the evening, around 3ish, and I'd finish there about 6, maybe a bit later. And this was in the winter, so it got really dark really quickly, and it was just a breakfast club and an after school club. And I did love it. I loved my job. I loved what I had to do, but it wasn't the right place and it wasn't the right time. And maybe in a few years it could be. I don't know. But at that time it wasn't, and that again upset me because I was like, right, okay, so that's 2 colleges I've dropped out of, and an apprenticeship since leaving school. But when I was still at my apprenticeship, one day, it was a Thursday, I can remember it so well because I made myself so poorly, it was so bad. I never felt like that before. I had so I also do a volunteer job where I help teach children how to stay safe in a safety centre. So I had work in the morning, again, that finished around 9:30ish. I went to do a double shift at my volunteering job, which took me right up to the time that I had to go back to my apprenticeship. So I was like, I haven't actually had time to try my meal plan, try and follow these rules. So I didn't have time. So I went back to work, and after I finished my apprenticeship, I was so ill. And it was that day that I finally realised that I can't do this. I can't. And I had to accept that that was okay. So that's what I did. And before that apprenticeship, I had done a 7-month work placement at a special needs school that I used to go to as a child, and oh my god, I loved it. If I could have that as a full-time job every day of my life, then in the future when I'm a bit better, then it would be amazing. Like, I loved it. I loved every single second. But it just wasn't the right time for this apprenticeship. Like, I left the other work placement I was with, and that's when I went to my other college. So then obviously I left there, and then had all that, what I've just said, and then started this apprenticeship, and I realised that it wasn't the right time for that either. So I had to accept that. Then I'd had admissions to hospital by this point, where I'd got myself so dehydrated and so poorly that I just wasn't functioning properly at all. So I got signed off work. I wasn't allowed to work, so I then realised that I wasn't at college, I wasn't allowed to work, I wasn't at school, I wasn't volunteering. Like, what do I do? Like, everything I'd always had, I couldn't do, so I was like, what do I do? So I'd been signed off work, and I took a couple of months out to get myself better. Like, I didn't do anything, I just did day-to-day stuff, like, because I felt, right, I need to get myself back on track if I focus on anything. So I was signed off work, so I couldn't do anything really anyway. So a couple of months in, I was still signed off work. So I decided to do an open university course in play therapy, which I'm still doing now. It's taken me just over a year at the minute, and I'm loving every second. I started that back then, and that has and still is a really big incentive to, like, get that qualification, because I'm doing it from home. I don't have to worry about my anxiety, because my anxiety can get so bad. I don't have to worry about any of that. I can do it at home, I can do it in my own time, and I will get the qualification. So that's what I did then. So yeah, everything seemed to be going alright and back on track at that point. Just had months out just doing that sort of stuff, like doing day-to-day stuff, doing uni, doing everything like that. And I'm still signed off work. This is since then. So then we're getting up to recently now. I had a massive argument with my family, and my mental health lost control again because of my EPD and that. So I spiraled, I lost control, I started doing some stuff that admittedly I probably shouldn't have been doing. And sorry, I'm breaking because this is so recent. Like, I'm talking about now, so it's difficult. But I ended up getting to a really, really low point again, and I was like, I either try and take my own life again, which I, deep down, right at the back of me, knew I didn't want to do. I couldn't. I had so many people around me, so I was like, right, what do I do? So I went to the doctors, and I was like, you don't understand, I really, really need you to help me. And he then said that maybe, agreeably, we decided that maybe a day patient referral again to a different psychiatric, for a general psychiatric, instead of just specifically my eating disorder, would be good. So we agreed, and then I got put on the waiting list for that. I had been on the phone to the Samaritans night in, night out, using their tech service when my anxiety was bad and calling them when I could. So yeah, that is just how I was coping, really. Then I got my first day as a day patient, and that's where I currently am. Like, that's where I am in life at the minute. The lift is broke at the minute there, so I can't go in at the minute, so I'm just doing day-to-day stuff. But it is difficult, and these thoughts, when you're out of a place like that, you feel really safe and secure. And when you're out, you're like, okay, this is the real world. I have to cope on my own. And it is difficult. It isn't easy. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that it is if you ever have to go through it. But I am so grateful that I have my place. And I'm hoping that it is going to be onwards and upwards from here, really. So, yeah, I'm just keeping hope and keeping optimistic. And I'm so grateful for the people I have around me. I tell them all the time that I don't think I'd be half the places that I am without them. So yeah, it's going to be okay. And some days are going to be hard, and some days are going to be okay. But it, all in all, is going to be okay. So I am feeling optimistic about it at the minute. And that is now. So the lift broke literally last week. So that's now. And so now I'm still signed off work, but I can volunteer from home, and I am volunteering for a charity called Dream Flight. Most of you have probably seen it on my Instagram pages, and so that's what I'm doing at the minute, and it's keeping me really focused and really happy. I'll probably do a video on Dream Flight at some point, just to explain it all to you a bit more, but not in this video. But yeah, I just wanted to say a bit about me, really, and I wanted to say that, you know, you can get through whatever you think you can't. It does get easier, and you might be thinking, oh, whatever, like, but I get it. I get that it doesn't feel like it, and even last night I was like, I really didn't think I could do this, but there's good days and bad days, and it does get easier. You've just got to keep going, and the DMs on the page are always open. You can always comment and whatever, and I'll always try to help best I can and give advice. Obviously I'm not a professional, but if you feel like you need professional advice, that is also okay. But it's not a bad thing. Like, it is okay not to be okay. So just always remember that. Again, thank you so much for everyone who viewed yesterday's video. I know this one isn't as extravagant and exciting, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me before I continued, because I am really enjoying doing these videos. I didn't think that I'd do a second video. Like, I did that video as a one-off thing, but I am really enjoying it, so I thought I'd tell you a little bit about me. So yeah, this is me. No pun intended. But yeah, I will do another video update soon. Thank you again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, share, whatever you want. And if you follow my Instagram pages, then remember that there'll be a new update tonight. If not, I will put the names again down here now, and you can see them there, and I hope that you can follow our pages and follow my journey. Thank you again, you're all amazing. Stay strong, keep smiling. I'll see you soon.